So recently we got the official preview for Project Mugen. Project Mugen is an upcoming free-to-play open-world RPG which will be coming to PlayStation 4 and 5, mobile devices, and PC. I wanted to talk about this game, get you more familiar with it, and basically just go over everything we know about it so far. So Project Mugen is a working title for an upcoming game published by NetEase Games. This game will also technically be under development by NetEase because Project Mugen is being developed by Naked Rain, which is part of Thunderfire Studio, which is a studio owned by NetEase in China. A lot of you are probably familiar with NetEase because of BR games like Naraka Blade Point, Knives Out, Rules of Survival, and Creative Destruction. They also featured games like Life After, so this company has a lot of experience when it comes to wide-scale open-world games, which will be very important because that is one of the main focuses of this game. This will be the very first game developed by Naked Rain, but considering that Naked Rain is under NetEase, I'm pretty confident about how this game will turn out fine, specifically when it comes to the open-world exploration and world building at the very least. We also have a brief description about the game setting to help you get a better idea of what this game is about and what the general theme is. Players step into the role of an Esper, known as the Infinite Trigger. This top investigator navigates through vibrant cities, confronting anomalies and supernatural occurrences that threaten the balance of this unique urban paradise. Along the journey, players will team up with various Espers, each with their own stories, to tackle the chaos endangering humanity. Dive deep into the mysteries, explore the city life, and forge unforgettable memories with your companions. As players navigate through the game, they'll embark on a quest to recover lost memories, confront challenges in various district cities, and work to unlock the key to saving the world. So this is very similar to Honkai Star Rail, where you have the Trailblazer, which is part of the Astral Express, and their job is to basically go around to different places, confronting different enemies. This is a tried and true effective foundation for the majority of the free-to-play games that we got for the past couple of years. So for me, I don't have any problem with this. Next up, we have the main selling points that this game has, which will help the game stand out compared to the other games that we have right now. So the first one is the urban open world setting. This is probably one of the biggest selling points for this game because just looking at the game preview, it really looks like the open world is massive. We have different areas in the cities that are highly populated. We even have a full-on beach. There was also an underwater area which was on screen for a bit, and the verticality in this game actually looks insane. By the looks of it, you can actually go to the very top of the buildings, so this can potentially be a really good aspect of combat and exploration. There are enemies on top of buildings, and if they have collectible items like the Oculus in Genshin, then I can see how players will be incentivized to really explore the city. I can also imagine them introducing airborne enemies, which you have to fight while swinging around, or having to use ranged weapons. And that all sounds very fun to me. Not to mention that the traversal and character movement in this game is actually insane. It reminds me of the character movement in Tower Fantasy, but on a whole different level. The characters in Project Mugen have this grappling hook mechanic. They can also do wall runs, and they have different styles of free falling. Aside from the on-foot traveling, players can also explore using vehicles like a standard car, or even a hoverbike, which is part of this character's kit. Yup, that's right. She can use this as both a bike and a weapon, which is crazy. And speaking of, let's move on to combat. We actually have a good amount of scenes from this preview where we see the different animations for the characters in combat. And from what I see, the characters seem to have unique weapons, which I really like. In games like Genshin, characters are limited to the 5 weapon types, which is very limiting in terms of how creative they can be when it comes to the character, gameplay, and style. So I'm happy to see that the characters in Project Mugen can pretty much have any weapon type imaginable. And going back to the one I mentioned before, we have this character Taffy, who basically has a 2-in-1 vehicle and a weapon that is just very cool. We also have this male character who can interact with different objects and basically use it as a weapon. That is another cool thing I noticed about this game. A lot of the character's surroundings are actually interactable. You can see the objects flying around when characters perform attacks. Some characters can even use the objects themselves to attack the enemies, so it really makes the environment feel more alive. And moving on, let's actually take a look at the website that they have, because I do think that this is very cool. The only downside is when you open this up for the first time, the music is kind of loud, so I'm just giving you a heads up so that your ears don't get blown out. So as you can see here, you can now pre-register for this game, which I highly recommend that you do, so that the developers know how much hype there is for this game, and also so that you get the latest news for this game. And over on the left side, we also have the number of pre-registrations, and this one, like the triangle thing, is sort of like a link to the video for the preview. So again, if you want to pre-register for this game, or if you just want to see the trailer, then I will have both the links in the description below. And then scrolling down, We actually have 5 images for the characters in this game. Of course, these are only few of the characters that will be coming out, but it's still nice to see what the characters look like and sort of understand what art style they're going for. So this one is Taffy, which is the character I mentioned before, and she is basically the one that was using the motorcycle weapon thing, which I think is very cool. And next up we have Bansi, which is another really cool character, and she was actually the one shooting like the paintball guns that look like Splatoon, so we were actually able to see her in the trailer. And the same with Alan, he was also in the trailer, and he was in that scene where he was fighting someone using his yo-yos, which I think is very cool. I don't actually see a lot of characters using this type of weapon style in many games, so it's actually interesting to see someone using this in this game. And then next up we have Mechanica. She looks cool, but I'm not really a fan of like characters that have questionable ages, so that's that. And then next one. Of course, you gotta have your waifu in any game, right? So Dilla is probably like, she's giving me the same vibes as the main character in Honkai Impact 3rd. Maybe it's just because of the white hair, but that is the vibe I'm getting from this character. Overall, she looks really nice, and I'm definitely excited to try her out in the game once we get our hands in the game. Currently, we still don't have any release dates for this game, but I will be sure to keep you up to date with any news about Project Mugen. So yeah, that is pretty much everything we know about Project Mugen. Hopefully you found this video useful, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.